Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is One Piece volumes 1, 2, 3 collected. And what I'm going to do right here is we're just going to finish up the Buggy the Clown run. Let's see, let me go over here. Yeah. So this story actually begins on volume 3. So if you get the smaller Takobon manga books, this will be in volume 3. And I'm just going to go over chapters 18, 19, and 20. Since this is manga, and technically, here, let me show you this right here. Very typical of manga, the actual story at hand takes, oh my god, to grab it right here. The story is from chapter 8 to chapter 20, or the end of 21. So this is how many pages it takes for a manga story to usually typically finish. So anyhow, where we kind of leave Luffy off is he's kind of beaten up the rest of Buggy the Clown's crew has been beaten down. Zolo's down, the mayor's down, and Luffy's taken on Buggy one-on-one. And it's revealed to him, very interesting, like Buggy and Shanks, which is the pirate that sort of inspired Luffy to become a pirate, were shipmates on a crew. There's actually a really fun flashback scene where they go over and explain it. I believe this is in chapter 20. It's pretty cool. So, again, One Piece has a little bit of ridiculous humor and over-the-top reactions. And the art style is very simplistic to kind of get the point across of just the emotions of the characters very easily. So if you were getting into One Piece for detailed or beautiful art, you're not really going to get it. But if you were getting into One Piece to laugh your ass off, One Piece is pretty good at that. So very interesting. Buggy and Shanks were on the same ship, and they kind of talk smack and talk about leaving the ship and starting their own pirate cruise and what they're going to do. Buggy has a pretty funny plan to steal a devil fruit and trick everyone into thinking that he ate it. In the meantime, he's just going to keep it and go off and sell it for a ton of money. He also finds a treasure map. Then you have this hilarious moment where Shanks kind of sneaks up on him. He hides the devil fruit in his mouth, and then Shanks walks away, and then he comes back all of a sudden, and it freaks Buggy out, and he eats the devil fruit and gains the chop powers that Buggy the Clown is kind of known for. It's a pretty interesting fight between the two, and this is kind of the first fight between devil fruit users in One Piece, so it's kind of funny. One Piece has a bit of a trend of just, there are good fights, but a lot of fights are usually kind of comical and wacky. And I like this. Luffy's just like karate chopping him while he's down. And you got this pretty funny scene where Buggy thinks he's gonna take his head off, so he chops his head off to move away from it. Luffy then kicks him right in the freaking balls. Yeah, the fun thing about One Piece when I go back and I reread it is there's a lot of these moments that are just they're slapsticky, but they're not silly Billy. I don't know the right way to describe it. They're hilarious, sort of slapstick, and almost a little on the innocent side, right? So in the middle of the fight between them, Buggy kind of explains because of that situation, he gained the chop fruit, he can't swim. Because he can't swim, he can't get treasure under the sea, because if you eat the devil fruit, you can't swim anymore. So he despises Shanks, and Luffy kind of makes fun of him, so Shanks saved your life, and Buggy gets all pissed off about it. And we go into the second chapter, and Nami's actually kind of sneaking around trying to steal all of Buggy's treasure while he's fighting Luffy. And he uses his chop fruit to come after her. And hilariously, he's flying through the air while his legs are on the ground. So as he's flying towards Nami, Luffy just freaking kicks him right in the freaking balls. a lot of nut crushing going on in this freaking these chapters right here. And it's pretty funny. He explodes out, and he's got all these parts flying all over the place using his chop fruit to kind of... Like, this is kind of terrifying. You got a clown head floating around with a knife in a hand chasing after him. And Luffy hilariously seizes his feet. He pulls his feet out and starts tickling it to mess with Buggy. I forgot how ridiculous some of these issues are. I do love this about manga. They have a way of making ridiculous cartoony faces that I wish American comics didn't necessarily go away from. I know cartooning and cartoonist sort of techniques are not really popular anymore in American comics. And I will say it does take away from the seriousness and the themes of a lot of American comics. So I can understand why they don't want to do it anymore in like your standard DC stuff. But it is kind of unfortunate because humor is a lot easier to accomplish with ridiculous art, right? So pretty funny. They get together and in a hilarious moment when Buggy is trying to come back together after he's disassembled his whole body, he ends up losing his limbs. So all he has is like a hand and his feet, and the rest of his limbs have been kind of tied up by Nami, and that kind of leaves him vulnerable and immobile or slower to move, which allows Luffy to use his gum technique and blast him out of nowhere. So pretty fun couple short chapters. I didn't want to do a super long video. Just wanted to kind of hit back on it. Very interesting about these chapters is it's a lot of lore building, right? So you're given more information about Buggy the Clown and his background, his relation to Shanks, and thereby his connection with Luffy. You get a lot of hilarious artwork and comedy. So it's both an action and a comedy at the same time. And there's some good build up too. You kind of understand how much Shanks' hat also means, because Buggy actually damages Luffy's straw hat during the fight. So it's kind of interesting build up and entertaining. Though again, like this much to complete a story is pretty brutal. Luckily, these things are pretty affordable. So USA price $14.99 for all this. What amounts to almost 400 pages of comics, right? Not bad, though they are smaller than your standard comic book. Anyhow, how did I do? God damn, do I miss how easy manga is. I even put that word bubble there to kind of show it. So this is in chapter... Where are you? Yeah. So here is the original art, very small panel. Again, I blow it up to make it a little easier to draw. I did cut off, and I realized that later on when I was doing proportions. I was like, oh, I made his body needs to move like there. If I would have gone back, I would have made this a little larger, right? And probably brought it down. But otherwise, oh my God, I forgot, this is so easy. Especially after having done American comic books and European comic books. Holy cow, man, this is in one case, I kind of understand why people, they're, more art savvy people will look down on manga and its art style. But at the same time, it's you got to kind of appreciate the simplicity of it all. They can get these chapters out week to week very easily because of how easy the style is. It's not that they can't draw detailed style. There are panels that are more detailed, but you can, spew out 5-7 panels of this real fast, and you'll get several pages done, in a day in manga. That's pretty damn good. And then you'll have touch-up work and zip-a-tone and other stuff that you can do later, right, in digital. But yeah, no, not too bad. I had to take a break right here. I'm doing George Perez tomorrow, so for those of you who want to see a more challenging piece of artwork, you tune in for tomorrow. But yeah, that's pretty it. Anyhow, that's the review. Let me know what you think. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. If you got any comments on One Piece or this art, leave it down below, and I will see you next time.